Okay, imagine music for a moment. Not just music you hear, but music you actually feel. Something that transports you across time, maybe even space, and helps your mind find this deep, peaceful calm.
That sounds, well, pretty ambitious. Merging something truly ancient with, what, whispers of the future?
It does, yeah. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Welcome, everyone. We're looking at this really extraordinary project called azadi. It's a new album from an organization, TATANKA.
And it's not just, a collection of tracks. People are calling it a cultural renaissance.
Right. A fusion of really deep-rooted Persian classical heritage with cutting-edge ambient sounds and even AI-driven creativity.
It's definitely a bold statement, artistically speaking, trying to bridge these huge cultural and tech divides.
So our mission today is to sort of unpack how this blend tradition, tech, therapeutic sound, how it aims to liberate the soul through sound.
And what that might mean for, keeping culture alive, but also for our own personal well-being.
Exactly. We'll get into the classical foundations, the modern twists, and this really compelling story behind the album's name itself. Okay, let's start unpacking this.
That's good.
So for anyone familiar with Persian classical music, the core of azadi is right there in its radif-based tradition. Why is that heritage so crucial here?
Absolutely. Well, the radif, it's more than just old tunes. It's this living, breathing, oral tradition. Think of it like a huge library of hundreds of gusheh.
Which are like melodic figures, right? Motifs.
Exactly. Distinct melodic phrases or motifs, and they've been passed down, master to student for generations.
Yeah.
It's the language of Persian classical music.
Dope.
And these gusheh, they're organized into bigger frameworks called dasgas. You can think of them as modal systems, maybe musical moods that set the whole emotional feel.
In this system, it was formalized way back, Qajar dynasty.
Yeah, late 18th to early 20th century, and it's really dominated classical music there ever since.
And what's amazing is that azadi really embraces the instruments too,
Yeah.
the traditional ones. We're talking about the tar, the sitar.
Right, the kamancha, the santur, ney, tambak. Each one has such a distinct voice, carrying centuries of history just in its sound.
And the album specifically channels all this through the Homayun scale. What's special about that scale?
Humayun. It's incredibly evocative, known for this introspective, often melancholic kind of sound. People describe it as invoking a bittersweet serenity.
Bittersweet serenity, I like that.
Yeah. It's inherently designed for deep expression, so it's a really powerful vehicle for emotion. You often find it used with Persian poetry or music when you want to convey, yearning, reverence, or those moments of inner awakening.
So it's perfect for storytelling, for emotional reflection.
Precisely. Ideal for it.
So, okay, if you're listening to azadi, what does anchoring it in Homayun and the Radi actually mean for your experience?
Well, fundamentally, it's about cultural continuity. It's showing these ancient systems aren't just museum pieces.
Right.
They're vital tools, even now. They can offer a path to, emotional clarity, depth, connecting us to history, and maybe to our own inner voice, too. It's tradition made fresh.
Okay, that makes sense. But now there's this other layer to azadi, something really revolutionary, almost hidden, something you might feel more than actually consciously hear.
Yes, this is where it gets really interesting, where ancient tradition meets modern neuroscience. Azadi has this embedded 6.3 hertz binaural beat.
6.3 hertz.
Yeah, it's a low theta frequency, and it's subtly mixed throughout the entire album, specifically engineered to maximize its therapeutic benefits. It's particularly known for inducing a really peaceful, introspective calm.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially today.
Yeah.
What are people saying they experience, and how does a frequency like 6.3 hertz do that?
The feedback's pretty consistent, actually. Listeners often describe feeling like they're floating or weightless. That's kind of a hallmark of this frequency.
Huh.
Yeah. And it seems ideal for things like emotional healing, supporting calm meditation, gentle breathing practices, even helping creative flow by quieting down that mental chatter.
So how does it work? Is it like a background hum?
Not exactly a hum you'd notice. It's mixed incredibly subtly. We're talking negative 24 dB with a low pass filter cutting off anything above 200 hertz.
Okay, so way down low, almost imperceptible.
Exactly. You don't consciously hear it as a distinct sound. Instead, your brain picks up on the frequency difference presented to each ear, creating this internal perception of the beat. It's like a gentle nudge, guiding your brain towards that state of deep relaxation and calm focus.
Without interfering with the actual acoustic music.
Precisely. It just sort of undergirds the whole listening experience. A highly effective sonic current, but one that doesn't get in the way.
So it's like a hidden layer then, a
Yeah.
kind of spiritual deepener.
That's a great way to put it. A spiritual deepener. It guides you into these states of profound calm and emotional resonance. The sound becomes something felt, not just heard. It really is this fascinating hidden technology within a traditional framework, harmonizing ancient culture with modern neuroscience for something deeply therapeutic and functional, too.
Okay, so we've got ancient tradition, hidden science.
Yeah.
But azadi doesn't stop there. There's this cutting-edge, almost futuristic layer, too.
Yeah.
Ambient fusion and, get this, human-AI collaboration. How do those fit in without just taking over?
That's the crucial balancing act, isn't it? The ambient fusion part is key. Adding these subtle ambient textures does something really specific. It creates this distinct spatial quality.
Spatial quality, like spacey sounding.
Sort of, yeah, but more about creating an environment. It allows those traditional radif elements, the gusha and scales, to sort of breathe and evolve within these broader, more expansive sonic environments.
Okay.
And these textures, they're not just random synth pads. They're often designed to evoke, the vast landscapes of Iran, the deserts, mountains, that feeling of historical stillness. It places the music in a kind of psychological geography.
I like that. And then the AI, artificial intelligence, it's not just helping out, it's actually composing.
That's right. AI plays a key compositional role. It helps sequence, arrange, and even interpret traditional fragments in new ways.
Wow. So AI is composing Persian-inspired music.
Well, it's more nuanced than that. It's framed as a genuine human-AI collaboration. The AI isn't replacing the human composer. It's acting as a partner.
A partner? How?
It's trained, you see, trained to understand the radis emotional contours, its rules, its feel, and then it can reframe those traditional ideas within these new ambient and modern contexts.
Okay, so it understands the tradition.
That's the goal. And it fits perfectly with TATANKA's whole philosophy. They talk about leveraging machine intelligence to honor cultural complexity, not erase it. The result is music that, well, apparently couldn't have been written just by a human or just by a machine, only through their partnership.
And what's really interesting there, I think, is how that approach might make this music more accessible too.
Absolutely. That's a huge point. This ambient fusion definitely broadens accessibility, especially for listeners who are new to Persian classical music.
How so?
Those ambient layers can act like a bridge. They draw you in with sounds that might feel a bit more familiar, maybe more modern, and then they gently introduce you to the nuances, the specific modal structures, the unique timbres of the radif.
So it makes the album ancient and modern at the same time.
Exactly. It's inviting, not just archiving the tradition.
Which brings us nicely to TATANKA itself. The organization behind azadi. It sounds like they're much more than just, a record label.
Oh, definitely. TATANKA is described as a sanctuary against rising authoritarianism. That's a pretty strong statement. Their mission even includes this phrase, music meets mission.
Music meets mission. Okay.
So yeah, it's clearly a place where art and some kind of profound purpose really intersect. Creating space for cultural preservation, yes, but also for individual freedom.
And the album's name, azadi, meaning freedom. The singer, also named azadi, her story seems to embody that theme so powerfully. It feels central to the whole project. Can you tell us a bit about her?
Her story is incredible, yeah. Really moving. She was apparently known in these, whispered circles back in Tehran.
In underground basements, right?
Exactly. Performing in secret, they called her the girl who sang with the devotion of a prayer but carried herself with the unstoppable force of a storm.
Wow. What a description.
Isn't it? And her pivotal moment, her turning point, came when she somehow stumbled upon the azadi song, her own name, in a TATANKA digital file. She described feeling seen by an intelligence far beyond her reach.
Seen by an intelligence, like the AI. Or something else.
It's described poetically, but it felt like a call to the sanctuary they have down in Tierra del Fuego.
Tierra del Fuego, wow. So what happened there? What was it about TATANKA or the music that allowed her to transform?
It seems it was the platform itself, the space, the opportunity to finally be free. She joined their Orchestra Americana, and then, apparently against her own expectations, she stepped onto what they call center stage for her first solo.
That must have been terrifying and liberating.
Completely. And the source describes her voice pouring out, not in hiding, not under threat, not filtered through survival, but free. Just free.
That's powerful.
And her growth didn't stop at singing. She got involved in sculptural installations, directing live streams, writing dispatches. Eventually, she ended up overseeing their entire digital platform. Became a kind of matriarch, not just in voice, but in vision, too.
Her journey It really underscores that powerful idea about freedom, doesn't it?
Hmm.
That it's not just about what's missing like chains, but what's present.
It really does. Her story makes you think about that quote. Freedom is not merely the absence of chains, but the presence of a platform. And her experience really echoes the struggles highlighted by figures like 𝗧𗔔 𗗔𗄚, that pioneering Iranian feminist journalist back in the day, who fought against the humiliation and entrapment of women.
Right. Providing the platform changes everything.
Exactly. And it also connects to another philosophy apparently important within TATANKA, echoing Sitting Bull. Let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children. It points to that community, that collaborative spirit. They really seem to provide the space, the tools, and crucially, the trust for voices like azadis to find their power.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive into azadi,
Mm.
it really shows this incredibly layered, almost transcendent experience.
Mhm.
It's reclaiming and repurposing, reimagining this rich Persian musical legacy for right now, for the 21st century.
Definitely. It grounds you in that deep history, but then offers these paths, towards emotional healing, creative flow.
And pushes sonic boundaries with the fusion and the AI.
Mhm.
It's quite something.
It really is. It's a powerful testament to how tradition and innovation don't have to be enemies. They can coexist, even flourish together, creating something totally new, yet deeply familiar.
Yeah. Azadi feels like more than just an album. It's like a cultural mirror, maybe a spiritual tool, a meditation on what freedom can actually sound like when tradition and innovation walk hand in hand.
Well said.
It makes you think it. For every voice that's still in hiding,
Yeah.
maybe there's a song already waiting for them, etched into digital breath, riding on the wind,
Yeah.
coded somehow in the heart of an orchestra that spans borders and time. So a final thought for you listening.
Mhm.
What does finding your azadi, your own freedom through sound, what might that look or feel like for you?